right, welcome back. This is another episode of Homestead Shop Talk with Lumnah Acres, Ben from Hollar Homestead. Wow, I can't talk. And Jason from Sow the Land. And How you guys been?
Good.
Real good.
I'm currently at the beach right now, so I'm pretty good. I I took a nap today, which is amazing. Like it was like an hour nap because like what else am I gonna do? It's like crazy hot out, even though we're at the beach. But like I'm just gonna take a nap, and it was actually really nice.
That's how
Um,
you know
Fall
Jason's
asleep
on
on the
vacation
beach.
is when he
That's
gets
the
a
part.
nap in.
I know that is true. No, I fell asleep on the couch.
Oh,
Homesteaders do go to the beach. Homesteaders do take a little vacation.
right. You're allowed to.
Are we?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I always thought I wasn't allowed to for a long time. So today we're going to talk about our week, and then also we're going to get into just talking about figuring out how much food you need to grow to feed your family. And this could be vegetables, and this also could be meat for your freezer. So we'll get into that a little later. But first, we're going to talk about our week. And how about you, Ben? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. All right. I wish I had a good report. We didn't hardly even film last week. We only put out one video last week. We've had Meg's grandma out here, and she's been staying with us. She's been staying in our RV in our driveway. And it's been very nice having her here, but when you have someone living at your place, it's kind of you're entertaining. You're in entertaining mode. I think that's the best way to put it. So she hung out until I think Thursday was when she took off. But in that time, we have just been going a million miles an hour. It seems like everything that we could do outside of like homesteading all just came in that one like 2 weeks she was with us. We've been running here, running there. Something that's kind of fun that is it's kind of unrelated to what we're doing is we really like going to estate auctions, which they have around here, and we went to two in a week. There was one last Saturday, and there was one this past Saturday, and yeah, sometimes some really good stuff. Sometimes it's not. Um, I bought a golf cart. So yeah, it's been kind of fun. Got
Nice.
a real nice grill at this auction. It's like as near as I can tell, like it's a slightly older grill, but it's like a several $1,000 grill, and I got it for $70. So it's just like we love auctions, and yeah, we went to two of them in the span of a week. So yeah, that's kind of been what we've been doing. I'm getting ready to move the pigs to a better spot in the woods because they're getting ready to farrow. But other than that, it's kind of been almost like we've been on vacation a little bit. Haven't had to really worry about filming in this past week and a half. So yeah, it's been kind of slow. It's been nice. I just wish that the slowdown and not filming was happening this week because it's supposed to be in the high 90s this week. Not real fun to be out trying to work in. So it's all right.
So I want to know first, is the golf cart gas or electric?
It's electric. I got plans for it.
Electric.
There's a video I saw a few years
Nice.
ago, and this guy put a solar panel and a special charge controller on his golf cart, and it's 100% off grid. And I saw that, and that stuck with me. I think the guy's channel name is Engineer775 or something like that. He's got a YouTube channel. A lot of really interesting off-grid stuff this guy does. And that was one of them. And I don't know why that video stuck with me, but it's like if I ever get a golf cart, I'll put a solar panel on the roof, like I'm doing it. So I got it.
Right.
It's down at the shop getting batteries put in it because the batteries that were in it were pretty rotten. New cables and stuff like that. But
Yep.
yeah,
So now they make solar panels that are pretty much like a sticker. You could like cover the whole roof and one big solar panel. I'll have to send you an email to a company that reached out to us, but we had no use for something like that. What we're doing, it was like for boats and for RVs, so that'd be perfect with a golf cart.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, send me that link. I'll look into that because that would be even easier than putting Unistrut on the top and bolting a solar panel.
I didn't get a golf cart this week. I know that much. We've been busy working on the workshop. We finally finished that up. That'll be just finished it up this morning, so that's nice. I shouldn't say it's not completely done. We got it all framed in and it's all watertight. So we got to get the garage doors installed. I think they should be
Nice.
coming in like a week or two, and then we'll do the inside. We got to finish off a couple of rooms inside so we can have a place to put our solar. We got to move all of our freezers out there so we can gain some more room in our house because we don't have a basement in the house we're living in right now. So the freezers take up like one whole room, so it'll be nice to have something for like a mud room. So we'll move them down. But it was fun doing the workshop build. We had some challenges, but I think you always do. But it came together pretty well, pretty quick. I definitely recommend it if anybody's looking to build like a workshop or a good sized building is to go post it like the post and beam style. It was a lot more affordable going that way versus like a regular 2x6 or 2x4 wall stick built. So that was pretty nice. We ended up going with 12-foot high walls. If we want to put a lift in it later on, we can. The guy had helped me. He has a YouTube channel, Ken's Carpentry, and he builds garages for a living. And he was saying that for anything over 8 feet tall, he normally adds 20% on for every 2 feet he goes over. So I was kind of surprised by that. So I've been like 40% more than an average garage just because of the height, it slows you down. You got to be up and down on ladders or rent lifts and stuff. So
Mm.
pretty pretty interesting. But I will agree with that. Like once you have to getting out your ladders and getting out the lifts, you go a lot slower. Oh, Jason, I forgot to tell you. Last Monday, I think it was last Sunday. I had a pig get loose, and I kept thinking of you.
Of me. I'm glad you thought about me.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever had a pig get loose.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
she took
man.
off.
How'd you get
She
him back?
broke.
How'd you get him back?
I set up a bigger electric fence, shut it off. We found her that so we had like thunder and lightning storms, and as my mother-in-law walked down by it and spooked it. I think just like a freak thing. It was more from I think it was spooked from the lightning. Um, we couldn't find her. She took off. We walked in the woods and searched, couldn't find her. So I'm like, oh, we'll just build a bigger electric fence pasture. And then I found her at like 8 o'clock at night. She was still spooked. She couldn't get close to her. Went out again at like 10. She was still spooked. I'm like, nope, we'll just come back in the morning. They'll come back. And when we came back in the morning, she was out there in the pasture. So I just turned the electric fence on and they've been in ever since.
Wow. And so how do you keep them in?
Electric fence.
Oh, okay.
We got two-strand electrical fence.
Oh, just two strand? And she just like went right through the two strand?
No, so we actually had them in hog panels.
Okay.
And when they broke through that, she got it right on it, climbed up on it or something, and broke one of the T-posts out of the ground, and out she went.
How big is she? How old?
She's probably like 100 or 150 pounds. So she's
Good sized pig.
3 months old, I'd say. Yeah. She bolted. We couldn't find her. We searched and searched and searched. I was like, they're kind of like dogs. They'll come back. They're hungry. They know where their food is. So
Yeah, that's important.
yeah. I thought of you because that's one of your big fears, right? You're afraid your pigs are going to get out.
Oh, I know. Well, they have. Well, I couldn't say. Yeah, they have. They have gotten out. I'm like the first time we kind of let them out, because I thought that they would, yeah, follow me with the bucket, but then they didn't.
They didn't.
So I guess that was my
Seen the
fault
video.
for
Right.
assuming. Yeah, I assumed. But yeah, I don't trust any pig, man.
We're
No.
lucky though. We live in the middle of nowhere. We're just surrounded by woods, so it's like the pig's out. She can't go anywhere. To get to a road, she'd have to cross a river. So I'm like,
Oh,
she's not going to get to the road that way. To get to the road the other way, it's like 2 miles through the woods. So I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, back. I don't got to worry. But,
No, that's great. Yeah, that's little. Yeah, I wouldn't be worried either. I'd be like, okay, unless you just, yeah. Next thing you know, you have wild pigs. And that's how wild pigs got in our area. You know?
My biggest concern was like a coyote or a bear having a snack that night.
Yeah, that's right. You guys have moose, is that
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. We got moose, black bear, coyotes. I don't know if we got wolves.
Can
They
you
say yes.
can you hunt can you hunt moose or no?
Where we are, no. In our states, yes, you can. You got to put in for a lottery. It's like a once in a lifetime hunt. You can put in every year, and then there's different like districts that they'll allow you to hunt in. And like you get pulled, it's like okay, you can go hunting in this district, kind of thing.
Have you had moose?
Have I ever eaten moose? I
Yeah.
think I have. I think at like a church potluck, one of the dishes one time was moose.
I'm assuming it tastes like deer. I mean, I don't
Uh,
know.
it's not. No, deer's better. I can't really explain the taste, but deer was definitely better. Beer, I've never been a big fan of beer. Beer's kind of greasy.
Yeah. We had bear when we first moved to North Carolina, somebody from church gave us a whole bear like a thigh.
Yeah,
Like it was just this giant thing. And we cooked it in a crock pot and we must have ate that like it took us all week to eat it. By like the fifth day, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with bear. Like it was just so like heavy,
yep.
like really thick. Like I can see like if you're in Alaska, you eat a bear, like you want to get a bear because that'll fill you up like all winter, you know.
I
Uh,
Yep.
love bear. Bear
but
is
I was tired of it.
delicious.
Yeah,
You
it
like it?
it was good.
Oh,
It just
I love it.
after 5 days straight,
Do you guys have a lot of black bear in your area now?
Yeah, we do. We have
I
some
don't
friends that
I
keep
don't know
trying
about
to get
black
me to
bear.
go bear hunting with them, and their whole family limits out on bear every year. So maybe I'll go with them this year. I'm not sure.
Oh, nice. Yep.
I think it'd be crazy to see a moose because they just seem like they're just giant.
They are, and they're dumb. So like that's like the worst part you got to watch out for. They don't move. Well, like I think like if you see a deer, it'll spook and run off. A
Yeah.
moose won't. A moose will just stand there and look at you, and then it might charge you. So it's kind of like if you see a moose, you better turn
Wow.
around and go the other way.
Yeah.
Especially during mating season, the
Mm.
bull moose can get really mean.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I've never seen a moose.
They're like the size of a horse, so they're pretty
Wow.
intimidating.
Yeah. Have you
One
seen?
story I have of seeing a moose up close is Gina grew up in a little tiny town, and it was like up the mountains. It was all dirt roads to get there. We were coming home, I don't know, probably like 10 o'clock at night from a family get together. And we were coming down the windy mountain road, and I'm like, hey, there's a moose there. It was just, a baby moose, probably 6 months old, but it was like the size of a small horse. And we were going down the road, and it was coming up the road, like right at us. So I'm like, driving. I'm like, okay, there's the moose. Oh, it's getting closer. It's gonna see me. It's gonna get off the road. I'm like, it's getting pretty close. So I stopped, and then the moose got like this far from the hood, finally recognized we were there, turned, walked into the woods, hooped itself, and then took off. I'm like, I don't know if it never saw us, and then it got scared right at the last minute or what.
That's hilarious.
I thought it was gonna run over the hood.
Oh man.
And their eyes don't glow like a deer or any other animal. Like their eyes glow with the headlights. The moose don't, and that's why a lot of people hit them.
Really?
Yeah,
I wonder why that is. You would think it would.
yeah, I don't know. So I'm sitting here staring at our new batch of coffee that we got in. So it smells pretty nice right now. I'm not gonna complain.
You get any of that dark roast in yet?
Not yet. So we've had a lot of people asking for dock roast, but I'm not a dock roast guy. So we all the roast we've had, we've been making and we've been taste testing and like finding out what our favorite roast is. So we're kind of like, oh, like how do I go about getting a good French, a French roast or a dark roast? So I was talking with the lady today who roasts, so we're in the works of one, but I'm gonna have to go off of her judgment because
Mm.
I don't enjoy dock roast myself. So
Well,
what do you guys look for?
Ben likes dark roast. I like dark roast.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
look for in dock roast?
for me. I like a nice dark roast that really has like a nice chocolatey flavor to it. Um, I don't know.
Okay,
That's been what I've really enjoyed like a French roast or like a real dark, like a Sumatran roast, the darker stuff. That's the stuff I like.
Yep.
Sometimes the dark ones can be a little bit bitter, but from what I know, that's,
Yep.
bad on
That's
the
what she was
roaster.
saying.
But there's a roaster up here in Black Mountain, I believe, that we get all of our coffee from, and Dynamite Coffee. I'll give them a plug. I drink the heck out of their coffee. I have a subscription to that place. I love their coffee. And their dark roast is not bitter.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
real mild, but it's still got that nice punch of the dark. So, yeah, nice chocolatey smoothness to it. Where it almost like if I make like an iced coffee with this stuff, it almost tastes like I'm eating or drinking ice cream, like a mocha ice cream, and it's just coffee and milk.
Really, I gotta
Yeah.
take notes. Coffee and milk. All right, I'm taking notes.
There's one that I'm been getting is called Larry's Coffee. And they're organic and they're in I think they're in Raleigh, North Carolina. And they have a good website, so I've been just ordering on their website. They have good dark coffee, so if you want to check them out, just you can probably see what they have. But
What was their name?
Larry's
Larry.
Coffee.
I'll have to look them up.
Now, what do you like about dark roast, Jason?
I like it. I like the earthy taste.
The earth taste to it.
Like, because sometimes you get coffee that says earthy or chocolatey is good. I don't know. Like, I like I'm not gonna say it doesn't taste like dirt, but it tastes, it tastes like, I don't know, like earthy. I don't know what it is, like roots or something, like root crops or
Yeah.
something like that. That's what I like.
Gotcha. So when we get a dark roast, I'll have to send you guys some and see what you think.
Yeah, I'll be your taste tester.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right,
taste
good
test
to
the
know.
dark. I think the only coffee I have that you sent left
what
is
did
just the decaf.
Have you tried that one yet?
I haven't tried the
No,
decaf.
I think the girls have been meaning like Penelope and Lorraine, because Lorraine does not drink coffee at all.
Okay.
I don't think she's even tried coffee in her whole life.
Yep.
And so she saw the decaf, so her and Penelope they're planning on having some of the decaf.
Yep. Nice. Gina never drank coffee. She never liked it until we
Yeah.
started using this person's coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now she
Wow.
drinks coffee quite a bit. So
Okay.
she's gotten into the cold brews. So what have you been doing, Jason, other than napping all week?
Yeah, I've just been napping at the beach. Um, so yeah, I tried I wanted to get to a good stopping point before we left the beach on vacation with that lean-to shed I've been building. So I got 6 4x4 posts up already, concreted in, and I started to building the roof part of it. I didn't get to a good stopping point like I wanted to. You know, when you're working by yourself, everything takes longer.
Especially if you film it.
And like you said, I like, yes, and filming. That makes it worse. And then especially if you have to get on a ladder.
hmm Yeah.
So that's tough. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to that once we get back home. So what else? Oh, this week, I think right before we left, we lost 3 egg-laying chickens to a predator. We just went out there in the afternoon and they're just dead. And that's probably the most chickens we've ever lost at one time, ever. We never had like a massacre of chickens before like that.
Yep.
And I think it's because what I noticed the previous days or nights is where our automatic chicken coop door would close early. And some of the chickens I noticed would be hanging out outside, like they couldn't get in. You know, I love automatic chicken coop doors, but when they don't work, you know what I mean? Like it can be a bad thing. I mean, if it doesn't work for like maybe 1 or 2 days, but you really have to like monitor it. Like if it's more than 1 or 2 days in a row, like I think critters, they see that and they're like, oh, these chickens have been out for like more than 3 days, 3 nights, and so I think that's what happened, and we weren't on top of it because I seen it like one time where the door closed, and I went out there at night and I put them back in, but then after that I kind of just left it. I didn't monitor it the next days, but I think that's what did happen, and I'm not sure what got those chickens. I was thinking maybe an owl, but
Were they in the net?
I'm not sure what it was. They were in the net, yes. And the net was electrified. It could have been a
About the
raccoon,
only
maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've been having real bad skunk pressure. Actually, one of these nights here pretty quick,
mm,
I'm gonna have to camp outside with a 22 and try to take out the skunk population because they're starting to get real brave. They've been messing with our bees, and I had one get a chicken the other night too,
Oh
and
wow.
it was same thing. She was just out. I've got a couple chickens that refused to go to bed, and it was a night we forgot to go get eggs because we were busy, and came out the next day and she was half eaten inside the net.
maybe that's it. I did notice some skunks. This was probably a month ago or so by our barn. I went out there like at midnight just to check up on things, and I seen two skunks walking around. Um, so yeah, that could have been very much it. But so yeah, so we ended up moving those chickens right away. I feel like moving animals helps.
Yep.
Especially chickens with predators. I feel like that helps a lot. But so we'll see. So yeah, just getting, this week we're just planning on this beach trip. Last year was the first year we took a vacation in 7 years since we started doing this lifestyle. Since we moved to North Carolina. And I'm talking about vacation where I'm not working, like there's many times where, we're, going somewhere to speak, or I'm getting hired to film somewhere, and uh, we kind of make it a vacation, but I'm still working. So it's not really a vacation. So last year was the first time we're like, what, let's go to the beach. We never been to an East Coast beach. Let's just go and do it. Like I don't want to, no filming, no editing. And last year was the first year we did that, and it was great. Like it's something I think we really needed, and so we made it a point this year to do the same thing and go to the beach, and it's been really great. Just to kind of just get away. You hear a lot of, you know, you try to create a life that you don't need a vacation from, but sometimes I think sometimes you do need a vacation from it. Like because I like to think that, oh, I can just stop, just take a vacation at home, right? Like I could just stop doing things and just hang out at home and just be there. But I can't do that. I just can't. Like if I'm at home, like I'm filming, I'm still filming, I'm gonna still edit stuff, I'm still gonna be doing things, and so it's hard for me to like turn it off. So in order for me to turn it off, we need to actually go somewhere. Um, so so yeah, we're just getting the our homestead ready for that, and then Lorraine's parents were are at our place now, just watching things and watching everything, and it's great to have them around because they helped us tremendously. I just put out that portable water tower that I did video. I edited that video uh, on the way here driving.
You were driving and editing?
Not at the same time, no.
Ah.
But, but Lorraine was driving, I was editing, and then because I knew we were gonna have good internet here, way better internet than I have, so I was like, I gotta post something. And so by the time we got here, I was done editing it and I posted it. So it was actually really nice. Here for a few days, and hopefully it'll recharge our batteries and we'll be ready to, finish off this year, finish it off strong. But I think definitely having that break helps, and I hope that we can do this at least once a year. I mean, we're only gone for like a few days, but it's amazing, I think, what it does. It just kind of gives you a break. And I took a nap today. which never happens. I never take naps. I don't like taking naps. I do not like taking naps. But it's like when you're, well, I got nowhere to go. I'm just gonna sit on this couch and just see if I can fall asleep. And I did, and it felt good.
You got a raw milk t-shirt. Does that mean you're getting a milk cow?
Somebody gave me this T-shirt, and it's one of those things. You know how it is, Al. I think every podcast I say this, but I'm doing everything subconsciously. I'm doing these little things, and I'm getting these little hints.
You are.
Like somebody gave me this shirt. I'm making a lean-to shed for the milk cow. I'm getting all these things, and next thing you know, hey, I got a milk cow. But that's not the plan. But you know how that goes.
Sounds like it's the plan.
So we could get into this topic of figuring out what that looks like. I guess how much food to grow for our family, how much meat, how much vegetables. How do we figure those things out? I know for us, it was just figuring out, just doing it, and over time you'll figure it out. I guess I really didn't know what that looked like in the beginning. Like I could talk on like meat chickens. Like we started doing 25 meat chickens, and I didn't think of in weeks at the time. I didn't think of like, oh, there's 52 weeks in a year. Like how many chickens do we eat in a week? Like it wasn't like I didn't think of that. I just thought like 25. Yeah, 25 is a good number. Like, do we eat 25 chickens in a year? Like I don't know. Let's just start with 25 and see where that goes. 6 months go by and we're done with our chickens, and then we have to go back to the grocery store and buy a chicken. And they're like, okay, I guess we didn't grow enough chicken. And so then you keep adding chicken every year. And until you get to a certain point, like, okay, I think we're done with chickens. I think we're maxed out. Now we're having to give chicken away. Which is cool too. We like giving food away. I mean, it's or like gifts. We give whole chickens to people, throughout the year just to give them a gift. Hopefully they're not too weirded out by it, but that happens.
They are. Maybe they're not the right friends.
I know. We're excited. Here's the whole chicken. But
We went to a cookout this past weekend, and my buddy was like, "Oh, I'm doing a cookout." I'm like, "What are you cooking?" 'Cause he's like does smoking and stuff, and I'm like, "I'll give you some chicken." So we gave him like 6 chickens. I'm like, "This he cooks really good." I'm like, "I don't mind eat. I would love to eat one of my chickens that you've cooked." So it was kind of nice to be able to go over there and know that what you were eating was your food. It was good quality. So it's like, and it's nice to be able to do that, because when we first started raising chickens, like you said, we'd do like 25. It's like, oh, it's a good number. Then it's like, oh wait, this isn't gonna last. So you kind of like hold on to them because they're precious, and which they
Yeah.
still are. But it's nice
Yeah.
when you're able to share, and then you can kind of give everybody else the bug of what good food tastes like.
Yep.
now I know me and Al are kind of in the same boat where we have the same amount of people in our household. But Ben, I don't know. I don't know how you do it, man.
I was sitting here running
Boys,
the numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boys.
I got 4. 3 of them are teenagers, and the 11-year-old eats like he's a teenager.
Wow.
So yeah, we figured about 100 chickens will get us, with the caveat of we also have to have pork and beef and deer and whatever else
Yep.
in the freezer as well. So for us, we're kind of still in the figuring stage for pork. I thought, between 700 and 800 pounds of pork in the freezer would be good for a year. It's about 6 months. We're just
Wow.
about to the sweet spot. We bought a cow off some friends, and we brought home from the butcher. We brought home 760 pounds of beef. What we processed this past winter in pork was about the same in pork. It was 2 pigs. And then we had a deer, and then about 100 chickens. We did 100 chickens last fall. We're currently starting our fall batch of chickens. We still have a few chickens in the freezer, so 100 chickens actually was about right. But we're down to like we're out of bacon. We have maybe like 2 or 3 pounds of sausage left, and we're not processing again until it gets cold. So we're like starting to ration our pork. I have a few odds and ends,
That's
roasts
the
and
word.
stuff like that, but it's like it's kind of getting scary. It's like, uh-oh, what do you mean we're out of bacon? So, yeah, we
Yeah, when you start counting the bacon
beef.
packages, you know it.
Yes, yes. So, and then the beef, I got in our beef freezer today, and it's all tomatoes. It's like, what the heck? Where's all the beef? And Meg was like, yeah, it's a veggie freezer right now. We're almost out of beef too. So, 'tis the season. As soon as it gets cold, we're doing the steer that we currently have. It's gonna be a busy fall, guys. Like I probably got 7 pigs that'll be ready. I don't know if I'm doing them all at once, but
Wow.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot. We've
Yeah.
actually talked about like doing classes for the pigs, just because there's gonna be so many of them. Might be an
Yep.
opportunity to get people learned up on processing pigs or something. So yeah, we still haven't decided on that yet,
Right.
but that's probably something we'll do. But yeah, just in the meat department, that's a lot of meat. Like it's a bunch of meat. So I don't know. Al,
Would you say?
Jason,
Would you say?
do you guys grow
Go ahead.
vegetables?
Not this year. I should take that back. We are, but we're not growing like an abundance of vegetables this year. We're waiting for our garden area to be made, which it is, but this year we've probably gotten over a foot of rain this summer. So everything
Yeah,
is just waterlogged. So I'm kind of glad this is the year we haven't tried to do a regular garden.
yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, we started our raised garden beds. I mean, this is really our we relocated our garden from last year, so I would say this is probably our first garden. But then it's our first garden, so we didn't grow as many vegetables as we have in the past. I mean, when we were on our last property, we grew a lot of vegetables. I think we had a 2,000 square foot garden, and I felt like we grew a lot and we put away a lot at that space. And I hope to get to that point again, but rebuilding your soil is going to take
Hmm.
some time, and
That's what I was just gonna say. That's the hard part is getting good garden soil takes forever.
no,
I shouldn't say forever, but it takes a couple
yeah.
of years, it seems
Yeah.
like. And every time we get there, we usually end up moving, it seems like, unfortunately.
I mean,
You just
would
made
you
it
say
nice for
it's
the next guy.
easier to grow meat?
Right?
Yeah,
I think it's easier to grow meat.
Yeah, I think it's easier to grow meat than
than
vegetables.
vegetables. It's way easy, which I didn't understand. I don't think I realized that in the beginning when we started this. I thought it was going to be a lot harder.
And I'll
Um,
say, I don't know about you guys, but like when we first planned on how much like meat birds we needed, like 25 was our first number. And then it was like, oh no, we need at least 50, one a week. And then once we both were working from home, that kind of changed up too. And it's like, oh, we don't need just one a week. We need two a week because now we eat our lunch from home so we can have more whole chickens throughout the week. I would say that's something I'm sure you must see that too, Ben, especially having all the kids home, that you guys are able to have more home cooked meals all day long, kind of. So you can you'll go through more. I don't know if you guys noticed that at all or not.
Oh yeah, definitely. We go through a lot. 100% of our meals are cooked at home. Um, we uh we prepare breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If there's dinner left over, then that's lunch the next day. Um, but yeah, like we do go through periods of time where we're eating up all of the leftovers. There are no leftovers, and sometimes we'll get
Right.
up in the morning and it's like, hey, you want a pork shoulder for dinner? Sure. What are we doing for lunch? How about I pull some chicken out when I get the pork shoulder? That kind of thing. And so we eat pretty good. We kind of pursued this life because of the whole food journey we were on. Just getting in control of what we put in our bodies a little bit more. And, at the same time, we love food. We love good food. And being able to make good food for every meal is just like a total bonus. So, yeah, we have had to take that into account, extra food. But like Meg is like an absolute wizard in the kitchen. And so she can literally take, a pound, 2 pounds of ground beef and get several meals out of it. It's all about like stacking that food. I would say that's where the garden comes in. It doesn't take very much square footage to grow green beans, and you can get a big bang for your buck with the green beans. That's just an example. Like there's lots of stuff like that after we can it, now all you have to do is cook your protein and open up a couple cans of this and that, and you've got meal plus leftovers.
So your garden bin has been like, I mean, how long have you been at your spot now? How many years?
So this is our 4th year we've been here. And I'd say like last year and this year are really the first years that have produced. Last year for sure. Last year we got quite an abundance of like vegetables and stuff like that. This year has been good, but we didn't plant as much this year. We kind of like just planted anything and everything the first couple years, and we realized it's like, you know what? Why don't we plant the stuff that we actually want to eat? I think that's what we decided.
Right.
So this year we grew a lot of
Yeah.
tomatoes and potatoes and squash and all the stuff that we'll actually eat instead of decorating the house with. I think that's been something too, is like figuring
So I would
out
say,
what to grow.
Right.
yeah. I mean, it seems like if you stick with it and the fourth year, you should see like an abundance of vegetables as far as the garden.
I was gonna say, I'd say the milk cow kind of took it to the next level this year for us because we have, like last 2 nights ago, we were having a meal. It was chicken, potatoes, zucchini, summer squash, carrots, all from the land, which we've been able to do that in the past. But then I was like, oh wait, the milk, we've been able to do that too. And then I was like, the milk, and then we had butter. That's all from there. Then we didn't have ice cream for dessert, but if you had ice cream, that'd be
Yep.
all from the land. So that was that's nice. And the cow, she's grass fed, so a
Yeah.
little bit of hay when we take her in at night, but mostly she's just out on pasture. It'll
Yeah.
be nice to see how the fields look come next fall or next spring, I should say.
Yep.
I know because we got the bigger property now, it's going to be, I think, some little bit to adjust because usually we just raise chickens for meat. But now we have we did 2 steers in the spring, and then we like 3 pigs, and we got the chickens. So now I feel like we don't need to raise as many chickens. Before we were doing like 150 chickens a year.
Yep.
Now I feel like we don't need to maybe do 100. And then we got the beef and all that, and then plus turkeys. We got turkeys coming this year, so that's more. And then, but also, Lorraine's parents, we've been growing food for them too. Like, I'm like, I don't want you guys buying any meat, like just come to our house and pick up meat. That's, I want to do that for them. And, so raising chickens for them, but they're only 2 people, so they don't need much either. And the beef and all that stuff. So, yeah, I love doing that, just growing that anyways.
One of the cool things about the meat birds is, and I noticed it a ton on your property, Jason, is they're such great fertilizers. Like your property, I feel like from last year to this year, just when you run your meat birds last year, watching the videos, it's like, wow, what a difference. Like that took your property from being like overgrazed and not much grass to this year. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
jungle
they
this year.
poop a ton.
They do.
They poop a ton.
Yep.
And if anything, even if you don't eat meat, I mean,
Right.
you should have some meat chickens, you know?
Yeah.
Our freezers are full. I'm like, man, I got more fields that need to be fertilized. I should get some
Yep.
more meat birds, but I don't have a need for them.
Yeah, that's true. I know. It's like yeah, I'm gonna start just giving meat away, you know?
Right,
I don't know. That's why I go back and forth of like, maybe we should sell meat, you know,
right.
stuff like that. So I don't know, but yeah, they're great to have even for fertilizer. I guess the veggie aspect of growing our own food is always tough because I never know how much to plant. Like I don't think that I don't know if there's like a formula that you could. I mean, because meat chickens, you know, like I need to raise 50 meat chickens. You know, I just need one cow. Stuff like that. But like vegetables, it's like how do you figure out how much tomatoes you need? You know, how much lettuce you need. I almost feel like it's grow as much as you possibly can without um, burning yourself out. And if you have more, great. More if you have more, that's actually better than having less.
Yep.
So that way, at least you could give some away, or you could put some away, or you could give some to the groundhog or the insects, right?
So, actually, kind of on that note, this past 2 years, we've been playing around with what it would look like to grow our own animal feed. Like, grow a garden specifically for pig food or chicken food. And, I've found some squash and gourds and stuff that are extremely prolific in our climate. They produce like crazy to the point where I'm feeding like these serpent gourds, the cucuzzis. I literally go and harvest and pick these gourds every single day to supplement my feed. Um, to actually like feed the animals food, I think I would probably have to put half this property into production. But being able to supplement the feed, that's been really cool because I can, go get an entire wheelbarrow load of food and then I don't hardly have to give any grain that day. So, yeah, like sweet potatoes last year, we grew several hundred pounds of sweet potatoes just for animal food. So, that's kind of cool. So, kind of the way I see it is like we eat what we want and then the rest goes to animals as food to kind of lighten that feed store
Yep.
bill.
Yeah, if you have the space for sure. Like that's we started talking about that too. That's why we grew that giant pumpkin, watermelon, squash patch that we have going on right now. Because we just throw all the seeds in one spot, and I'm like, this is going to be a lot for our pigs. Uh, because yeah, it would be cool to get to that point where you could grow most of your food for your animals. Like that would be where it's at, I think. Um,
Yeah, reading the Dougherty's book, it kind of got me
but
going on that subject.
We ended up soaking our second batch of meat birds grain in raw milk. So we had an abundance of it, and that made a huge difference. So I'm going to say, on average, the meat birds were a pound heavier each bird than the first batch. And we butchered them all at 8 weeks. We had 5, 6 plus pounders, 6 or 7 pounders in the second batch. In the first batch, they were decent size. I would say they were average like high fours, low fives, but the next batch was huge. They were like basketballs. So I was like, that made a big difference. And it didn't cost us anything extra. We just were able to soak the feed in the raw milk overnight, and that made so. But it's kind of interesting to be able to experiment like that and see what works and what doesn't work, and then you just got to remember for next year.
so Al, you have sheep right now and pigs.
Yes, we have the dairy cow, sheep, pigs. We have 2 goats still, and then we have our egg layers. We're experimenting with the sheep to see how we like them and how they like us, kind of thing. Like, do we want to get a bigger herd, or is it not a livestock animal we want to get into, kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
sampled that. If they're all going to be that skittish, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. They can. This we have one that's pretty friendly half the time, and the other half she's skittish. So it's kind of like if they get loose, they're all over the place. Or if you're trying to move them, they're just running around and they're just skittish. It doesn't make it any fun.
Yeah, I think I want to try sheep next. Um, I'll definitely try those. Those heritage breed turkeys that I got, man, they are skittish. Like I don't want
Oh
to let
yeah,
them out. I have them in a Seskovich chicken tractor, and if I let those guys out, I'm pretty sure they're gone.
yeah.
Like they're never coming out of that thing. I'm for I wanted to raise them around a netting, but not those ones. They're too
They
wild.
probably just, I would say they probably just fly off,
Yeah,
or for roosting and stuff.
yeah. I would have to go hunting, turkey hunting after
Right.
that.
So, do you guys have a formula, Ben, for growing like what you think you're gonna need for food, for vegetables, or it's just kind of
I wish we did. The vegetables, we still haven't figured out how to actually get squash to survive the squash bugs that we have. Squash, if you can grow a nice hard winter squash, like 2 years ago, we
yep.
grew Cherokee tan pumpkins. They're a great tasting pumpkin. They're, maybe like, I don't know, size of a toddler's head. Like they're a good sized pumpkin, kind of meaty, very good flavor. You can do everything with them. You can roast them and eat them kind of like sweet potatoes. You can make
Yep.
pumpkin pie out of them if you want. I mean, they're pretty versatile. But the thing that made them so valuable was one patch of these pumpkins 2 years ago produced like 250 pounds of these pumpkins, and we just stuck them in the shed. And
Wow.
then every morning I'm in there in the shed anyways to get the feed for the animals. And if I saw one that was bad, I would throw that in the feed bucket and add it to the food. This is before we really started getting going with, growing animal food. Well, all of the best ones came in the house for us to eat, and we just threw away the last one. It was sitting right next to me over here in the corner of the kitchen for 2 years. And the only reason we threw it away was just
Wow.
because it didn't look very good. I took it out and smashed it and fed it to the chickens, and it was like, it was still viable. But I mean, if you can grow a gourd that will
Hmm.
sit, it doesn't need refrigeration, and it will sit and still be edible in 2 years, that is one heck of a shelf life. Like, that's incredible. So,
Yeah. And it was in your
gosh.
heated house,
Yep.
but
Yeah. So,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
I
neat.
think I got away from the question do we have a formula? Not really. It's somewhere between like growing the right stuff that's right for us that we'll eat, growing enough of it, battling the bugs. Kind of the way that it's worked for us is we just grow until we have a surplus. We try to store it. The stuff that keeps we'll eat throughout the winter, and then the stuff that as it goes bad, because it doesn't all go bad at once, but as you see a pumpkin that's melting, well, that becomes today's pig feed, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I wish we had a formula. We're still figuring it out. We're not experts.
Yep.
I think the hard thing too with vegetables is you never know what's going to get eaten by the bugs or what's not going to do good this year. It seems like there's always at least one crop that
Yep.
fails. That's been our experience. Like you
Yep.
might have bumper crop of cucumbers one year, but then the next year we don't get any. Or throughout this, that's what I've noticed. So it's kind of hard to plan.
That's what it's been for us. We've only grown
Oh yeah.
carrots 1 year out of the four, and the rest of the time they won't grow for us. So I don't know what we did right the second year we were here, but apparently we can't grow carrots anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and then when you plant on the year that you do plant a bunch of carrots, they are all gonna produce. You know.
Yep.
No, I think that's what makes it growing food so interesting because you don't know, you don't know what's gonna do good. You don't know what's gonna be in abundance that year. I mean, you hope, uh, and that's all you can do really is just plant and just every year is going to be different.
Do you ever save any of your own hot pepper seeds, Ben, to try to make a Hutter one next year?
Kind of. Uh, we
Okay.
uh we save some of them. We last year we actually had the first good year for peppers that we've ever had. Like peppers did amazing last year. But because everything all grew up at once, that means everything's going to be all crossbred if we save seed. So we didn't really save seed last year, but we had the same seed. So the stuff that we wanted, we planted again from the original seed we had. But there's a couple of them I'm going to save seeds from this year just to try it, see if I can. I don't know. I don't know if I want something spicier. We grew some peppers last year that were they weren't fun. They were. I don't know why anybody would want to eat some of those peppers we grew last year. Those are miserable. I had like a weird reaction to one of the peppers I ate last year. Maybe I'll like go into detail one day, but yeah, I had like cold sweats. Wow. I was able to be outside in the heat of the evening and not even sweat at all because my mouth had burned so bad, like it blistered. Like it was quite an experience. I've eaten some hot stuff in my day, but never like that. Yeah, never again. Since last summer, it's like, you know what? Nah, those super hot, so I'll just make hot sauce out of them.
Now that was a pepper you grew?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a it was like a 7-pot, I think is what it was. It was a chocolate 7-pot, which is like a Jamaican pepper. Yeah, it's really ugly, like dark brown, like it just looks hot. Like it looks hateful, and it was.
Sounds like it. I never understood like why people like to eat hot food like that. Just seems violent.
It was. Yeah, I'm good. I'll stick with like the jalapenos and stuff like that. Maybe the occasional like Thai pepper, but yeah, none of those like bragging rights peppers. They're not fun.
Well, I think that's it, guys. I appreciate everyone listening and watching this podcast. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, I appreciate if you write a review. Give us 5 stars and tell us how much you like it. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys later.